So why do we do this? Why do we take on the battles? Take on the fights? Why do we accept the challenges? Why do we stand up and have to work so hard each and every day? Why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through this? Why are we so committed? Why are we so focused? Why are we here on a beautiful August day? Why do we refuse to never give up? Why do we always keep going? Why will we simply never stop? And why will we absolutely refuse to quit? I'm blessed to have the opportunity to come before you this year, as I hope to have the opportunity to come before you every year, because I feel there is one critical message that should come out of today's events, that should come out of this conference. And I believe that message is gratitude and thanks and appreciation to every single one of you for who you are, for the work that you do, for the commitment that you put forth. I believe every elected official should come here to show respect. The respect that is owed for the fact that you built this party. For the respect that is owed for the fact that you're the ones who do the work. It's easy for us up here in Lansing to live in our palatial offices and stop by at the Radisson, but you're the ones who work the phones. You're the ones who go door to door. You're the ones who brave the elements because you believe in the mission, you believe in the work, and you believe in the cause. You're the ones who aren't able to see your families because you're out doing the work. You're the ones who are ultimately making the sacrifice. You're the true believers that make everything possible. You built the structure and the foundation for which every elected official in this town relies on when they come to see you, when they come before you, when they come to speak to you. You're the ones who do the work. You're the ones who put forth the effort. You're the ones who put in the energy. You're the ones who put in the time. And you're the ones who make the sacrifice. So it is my hope that I get the opportunity to come and say thank you and express gratitude. But most importantly, it is absolutely critical that I and the other electeds must always come with that level of respect that you have earned, that you have fought for, that you have made all of this possible. There's a story that I always like to share because I believe it allows for us to connect to the life experience that makes us whole. And it's a story that occurred to me as a young litigator. And as we go through life, there are certain experiences that define us and that make us who we are. And I remember getting a call from this wonderful mother. And she said to me, "Richard, help me to understand why. I'm a good person, I'm a kind person, I'm a pious person, but help me to understand why it is that of all the people in the world, I would be given a child with severe special needs. What kind of a future is my newborn going to have? Is he going to have the opportunity to go to school? Is he going to have a chance to live independently? Do you think he'll ever marry and have a family of his own? When, Richard, do you think we'll ever have a chance to live an ordinary life? And when do you think we will finally have the opportunity to no longer have to suffer?" And I remember answering this wonderful mother by saying, "There is nothing nothing from this point forward about your life, about your family's life, about your child's life that will ever be ordinary again. Because you have to believe that we were all sent here to never be ordinary, but to be extraordinary. And I have to believe that none of us are sent here to suffer. But we do have to struggle. And it is that struggle that makes us great. It is that struggle that gives us life. It is that struggle that gives us identity. It is that struggle that gives us purpose. It is that struggle that gives us mission. It is that struggle that gives us focus. May God bless each and every one of you for the work that you do every day. You know that struggle. You experience that struggle, and you work with that struggle. You truly give a voice to people who otherwise wouldn't have one. These are difficult times. You know this all too well. The incredible struggles that our members face, that our state faces. But this union is the bedrock of goodness. This union represents justice. This union represents honor. This union represents fairness. Yes, these are difficult times that our state is going through. But it's in those difficult times that people don't turn to the electeds. They turn to you. You're the ones who work with the people. You're the ones that they go to. You're the ones that people believe in. You're the ones that people confide in. You're the ones that provide people a sense of hope. You're the ones that are there for every need that a person has. You do God's work. You're part of a glorious mission. You have an incredible impact. And yes, there is work that has to be done, and yes, there's an election that lies before us. But today is a day that you should focus on who you are, what you've accomplished, what you've achieved, the difference that you have made. Today is a day that you should sometimes give yourself the chance to look back, not just ahead, and think about what you've accomplished. Think about what you've achieved. Think about what you stand for. There's very few professions, there's very few livelihoods where you get the chance to do work that impacts people, that affects people, that changes people the way that you do. Yes, you're there on the front lines. You're doing the work. You're helping people through illness. You're helping people to keep their homes. You're helping people to keep their jobs. You're fighting for what is right and for what is just and for what is noble. You're fighting so that people can live with dignity, that people can live with respect. You're fighting for simple things, that people should have the opportunity to have clean water, to have homes. You're fighting for safe workplaces. You ask for so little, but yet you have to fight for so much. The needs, the asks, the passion that you put forth gives people that sense of dignity, that sense of hope, that sense of strength. Yes, we don't suffer, but it is that struggle. There is no one who struggles more than our members. But it's that struggle that makes us so strong. You know, people like us are always the ones that people count out. People like us are always the ones that people say, you should be working harder, you should be doing more. But no one looks to the executives. No one looks to the top brass and asks them, why aren't you working harder? What are you doing with your time? What have you done today? like us. The ones who don't have it so easy. The ones who have to fight and the ones who have to struggle. It's always the people like us who will always be the ones who will rise to the occasion. Who will always be the ones who will find their way. Who will always be the ones to never stop. Who will always be the ones that have inner strength and an incredible ability to do what must be done. It is always the people like us who defy every odd, who defy every obstacle, who simply know no bounds, because it is always the people like us who are given no other choice or no other opportunity but to simply rise and to simply accomplish and to simply achieve. It is always the people like us that are the survivors. It is always the people like us who will never stop. It is always the people like us who do nothing short but defy any and every expectation that is ever put before us. Now, you heard in the introduction, I've been blessed to have the opportunity of completing 19 marathons and a full Ironman competition. For those of you who are unfamiliar, an Ironman is a 2.4-mile swim followed by a 112-mile bike to be completed by a 26.2-mile run. The rules of the competition are simple. If you stop, if you rest, if you take a break, you run the risk of missing a cutoff. And if a cutoff is missed, you'll be immediately disqualified from the competition. There are simply no exceptions. If you finish at 12:05 and not 12 o'clock, it is like you were never even there. So I invite you to picture, if you would, the feeling you would have as you dive into a frigid body of water. The water temperature that morning of Lake Coeur d'Alene was 55 degrees. I invite you to imagine the feeling you would have as you get kicked in the face by all the other swimmers, and being blind you can't race to the impact. And I invite you to picture how it would feel to attempt to surface but be unable to do so because there's other swimmers immediately above you. And lastly, imagine the feeling you have as other swimmers become entangled and entwined in the rope that connects you to your guide. And as they become ensnared, the rope becomes entangled. And as the rope becomes entangled, it starts taking you below the surface. The more you struggle, the harder you fight, the quicker the rope starts dragging you below the waves. You try to get oxygen, but it's impossible because the waves keep coming rushing down upon you. We realize through our life experiences that we seem to always have what we need when we need it. You realize as you work with the members that through your guidance and through your compassion and through your understanding and through your willingness to fight for them, that you can pull people through and allow for them to find your way. If you weren't there doing your work, doing your job, listening, helping, what would become of some of those people? Where would they be? Where would they live? Your work is so critical. It's so important. This union is a life force. It's a social movement. This union does more than help people with wages and jobs. This union helps to keep people alive. This union is a force of good, a force of change. This union is a bedrock and a cornerstone that helps to keep our democracy what it is. This union provides a voice, provides hope and opportunity. This union is part of something that is grand, noble, and great. My last remaining moments that I'm going to have with you today, I want to share a story that I shared with you last year, but I believe it's timely and important, and I believe it goes to what we're here for today. It was a beautiful day, and I was walking in New York Central Park after having done 17 marathons at that point, a full Ironman. As I walked in the park, the loop that serves as a circumference. And I was walking in the pedestrian lane without an escort, and as I was walking, a bicyclist, was going over 35 miles an hour. And due to such a high rate of speed, he was unable to maintain control of his bicycle, and in doing so, veered into the pedestrian lane where I was walking and struck me directly in the back. The accident was catastrophic. It required over 10 weeks of hospitalization at Mount Sinai Hospital. It's analogous to our mission here today in this regard. It's those simple things in life that you truly miss the most. Like having a chance to use the bathroom or take a shower. Having to be carried to do things that you could once do on your own. That feeling you would have to be able to lie in bed without having to writhe in an unbelievable, insurmountable pain. People used to come and visit, and I'd ask them, so tell me, where are you going next? They would always say things like, oh, I'm going to go shopping or to a movie or pick up some groceries. I always tell them that those are the things in life that you have to savor. Those are the things in life that you have to truly, truly believe in. Because that goes to life at its core and life at its essence. What is it that you're fighting for? You're fighting for basic things. You're fighting for those simple things that people can have. The ability to put food on their table. The chance to work an appropriate amount of hours. Safe working conditions in a factory. The ability to send your children to school. The chance to simply have a decent quality of life. At the end of the day, when we're up here in Lansing, things can get very complicated. But I like to keep things simple as a judge. I like to look at how forces are and what they're fighting for. And this is pretty simple. You're simply saying that people matter. You're saying that people count. You're saying that people shouldn't have to live in poverty. You're saying that the middle class is an important part of this country. You're saying that there's a tremendous honor in working with your hands. You're saying that everyone matters and everyone counts. No one joins the UAW to get rich. They join it just to survive and just to make it. We ask the question. We're fighting for those basic components that go to the essence of life, that go to the value of life, and that go to the meaning of life. It was about 2 years ago, and it was time for the New York City Marathon. And doing this marathon on a shattered hip and crushed pelvis was going to be difficult, to say the least. The odds are always against people like us. But as we took to the streets and began running with this horrific injury, the pain became so severe that I was praying that I would simply have the chance to make it without passing out. We reached mile 18 at the 59th Street Bridge and began running up First Avenue. I remember praying to the heavens that I would finish. This pain is so excruciating, it's so difficult. How can I ever make this? It's just like where we are right now. We wake up in the morning and we face more challenges and more hardships and more difficulties. But miracles happen at those points. Because when you think you simply can't take another step, when your members say, I simply can't do another thing, that's when you find your inner strength. And it's through that inner strength that you come to realize that in many situations our bodies are mortal, but our souls are all powerful. So why is it that we do what we do? Why is it that we fight the way that we fight? Well, everyone in this room knows that answer. We know why we're here. We know what this is about. It's about something bigger than ourselves. It's about our community. our friends, our family, our state, and our nation. It's about the idea that no matter how challenging or unfair or difficult things might appear to be, we will always keep going because we've come to realize that we simply have no other choice as we look at our life. We can't focus on trying to get over it. We have to simply focus on just getting on with it. It's people like us that will do what is hard to achieve what is great. Because we write our own story and our own chapters. Within any great novel, there will always be chapters of pain, frustration, and disappointment. It's only through those chapters that we go stronger. We come to find hope, joy, and triumph. We are here to celebrate the legacy of this great union, its incredible work, its incredible impact. We will move forward with the same greatness, the same passion, the same pride, and the same determination that has guided us for so long. We will celebrate who we are and where we're from and where we're going. We will celebrate the simple idea. This great union represents the idea, represents the mission, represents the focus that is all of our lives. Most importantly, it represents the idea that extraordinary things can, will, and must happen for all of us. Because this union is about people. It's about that spiritual quest that says that yes, our bodies might be mortal, but it's through our ideas, our passion, and our work that our soul